my fellow comic book collectors. This is Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I am participating in a tag video. It's been a while since we've done this. I think it's like last year we did this, but it's good to always do this. Where Alex the Comic Book Hoarder, he put out a request for 3 channels to do a tag video. So I wasn't one of those 3, but he mentioned me in the video. So hey, I'm kind of doing this. He also reached out to me on Instagram to participate. So I'm feeling my obligation to participate in this tag video, where basically the way the tag works is each person tagged basically shows 5 books that are kind of key significant books. Like they could be historically significant, they could have key character first appearances, they could be rare books that you just couldn't replace. Well, I try to fit all those categories with the books that I chose. And the tag works the following way. So I'm going to tag 3 channels, and those 3 channels are going to tag 3 channels, and so forth, and it'll grow and grow, and the whole community will get involved. Everybody will do a tag video, so it'll be some fun. So the channels that I'm going to tag, and I really feel like I have to tag a bunch of channels, but I'm going to stick to 3. But if you're not tagged, it doesn't mean that I didn't appreciate you, because there's a lot of channels that I think are really great that should participate. But if you're channels that participate in my Friday comic challenge, please accept this as part of a challenge video. So feel like you're tagged by me. And those are channels like Epoch and Mr. E, the Low Grade King, Ozzy the Comic Book Collector. These channels, they participate in my thing every week, and I as I'm mentioning them they're not my official tags, but they are ones that I really want to participate in this challenge. So the tag people that I'm actually going to tag are my good friend Mark Oldroyd from Casually Comics, or not Casually Comics. Yeah, I always forget what he calls his thing. He has a separate thing. But yeah, Mark Oldroyd and Big B McFly, the comic book guy, who also takes part in my challenges, believe it or not. But he is a good friend, and he also he's the guy that made my logo, so I kind of feel like he should take part in this. And the other one that I would tag would be Black Box Silver and Bronze, Joe. He's a good friend as well, and I hope that he takes part. And I'd like to tag Night Tiger too. So there's so many people I'd like to tag. But you know who you are, I hope. Like Jerry the Jitterbug and a whole bunch of people that I really enjoy watching their content. So yeah, you're all basically tagged. I'm tagging the world basically, because there are so many people I'd like to tag. But without further ado, without me babbling too much about who I'm tagging, let's get into the comics that I wanted to show that are really cool, and I'll explain why they're cool and the key significance and the historical significance and the kind of the rarity of these books. And we're going to start off with just a big book. Let's just, always good to be, go out with a big book. This is a very expensive book, one of the most expensive books in my collection. And the reason this is on here, it's All-Star Comics number 8. And this is the first appearance of Wonder Woman. So it's a key significance for that. It's a key significance for me personally, because it was the book that kind of said, hey, look, you can get these big characters in your collection. So this book really changed my philosophy about comic book collecting. And it is just such a rare book. There's like 100 copies on the census. And for a major character like Wonder Woman, that's a big deal. So this is the first appearance of Wonder Woman, and it is just a really great book. Like it's, key book to have in any collection. Typically these books go for in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, so they're pretty expensive. And it's just such a major character, and it really reflects the Golden Age in terms of like the characters from the Golden Age. It has Spectre, Dr. Fate, Sandman, just really great stuff. I think Johnny Thunder is in here too, and Starman, and just kind of cool stuff. So this is All-Star Comics number 8 from 1942. First appearance of Wonder Woman. Now, next one on my list is still in the Wonder Woman theme. I actually have Sensation Comics #1, but even rarer than Sensation Comics #1 is Sensation Comics #2. And that's what this book is. Sensation Comics #2. Sensation Comics #1 has about 70 on the census. This has about 30 on the census. So just a really rare book. And it's one that doesn't come up. Like, you know, you can check the auction records and it's like maybe every 10 years. Like it's like really just doesn't come up for auction. And it's just such a rare book. So yeah, so mine's a 2.5, but just a rare book. And this does have a key character, like, you know, first appearance as well. So this is Wonder Woman's sidekick is Etta Candy, or Eda Candy. You know, it's kind of a joke because she's kind of a pudgy girl and she's eating a lot of candy. So that's the joke. But the idea is that this is her sidekick. It's kind of like her Robin in terms of characters. So kind of a major character for Wonder Woman. And she actually did appear in the first Wonder Woman movie, so kind of a key character. And you know, it's kind of cool when you get these early Wonder Woman books. So just really great book to have, and that's why it's on the list. So 2 Wonder Womans, I know, but that's it for Wonder Woman. I'm not going to show any more Wonder Woman, but I wanted to show some kind of big ones that I think are kind of cool and significant to me. But I'm going to keep with a certain theme here, and it is women. So I like my women. This is Sun Girl. This is Sun Girl #1, and this book is like a fairly rare book and also a kind of a major key because it is her first appearance. And the thing that's significant about this book is the fact that it's actually signed by the creator, the artist Ken Bald. And I just, you know, for me that's kind of cool, not only to have like a golden age book, because this is from 1948. Yeah, 48. And so it has like not only is it a historical book from 1940s, but also it has the original artist's signature. So that's kind of cool. Ken Bald is a very kind of important artist. He's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the oldest artist to do a cover. So I think he was like 95 or something like that when he did his last cover. And you know, so he worked, he actually came out of retirement to do that cover. It was like an alternate cover, a variant cover, but it got him into the Guinness Book of World Records, and he is an awesome artist. He's also the artist that did Namora and a bunch of other key characters. So you know, it's really great to have his signature on a book. So, and it's really kind of a great book to have it on, because this is Sun Girl, and you know, Sun Girl is kind of this yellowy character, but it's a yellow label, so it kind of matches. So that's why I thought it was extra special. So this is Sun Girl #1 from 1948. So kind of a key book for me. And it's kind of irreplaceable because it's how many times, he's no longer living. So it's not a book you could say, oh, I got a Sun Girl #1 and get it signed. It's not going to happen because he's not alive to sign it. The next big book on my list, and this one only has like 10 on the census, is a Crime Detective #9. So this is a key book, not for her first appearance, though it does have a appearance in it that's kind of significant, but it is a book that was mentioned in The Seduction of the Innocent. And because of that, you know, it is kind of a historically significant book. That book, The Seduction of the Innocent, was a book that led to the Comic Code Authority and really ended the golden age of comics. So really a major role in terms of history of comics. Because I actually would like to say this, that since the golden age, there was so much Wild West kind of element to the golden age, where they really were testing the boundaries of what they could publish. We really haven't recovered from that and even now, like you think, oh, we're very, we explore more things nowadays, but really, we haven't recovered the liberty that was lost when the Comic Code Authority came into play. Really has hit the market hard, even to this day. If you look at like how books have like anime, they never had this kind of totalitarian kind of like label added to their books. you know, they so they had the freedom to really explore like a whole bunch of different genres. And if you look at books for comics, really the number of like different types of comics are very limited compared to the Golden Age. Golden Age, they would produce comics about everything, just like they do with anime, with manga. Um, so we really haven't recovered from that, where the amount of volume of books that was being produced during the Golden Age was huge. We just haven't recovered to that. Like the comic market is so much smaller now than it was back then. And that's why it's so significant historically, the impact that this one book, this book by Frederick Wortham had, where it really led to the downfall of comics. And I'll explain the key significance about this book in particular for the Comic Code Authority. So what happened was this book came out obviously before the Seduction of the Innocent. And it was one of the books that was actually photographed inside the Seduction of the Innocent. So there was very few books that they actually would show pictures of the books that they're commenting on, or he was commenting on. And the reason this one was mentioned was down here, we have this good old doctor that's bound and gagged. And that is supposed to be a caricature of Frederick Wortham. He even says on this thing, psychologist. It called him M. Brown, psychiatrist, but really it's supposed to be Frederick Wortham. And there's actually a note here, a letter dedicated to Frederick Wortham, where it basically says, this magazine is not dedicated to the prevention. This magazine is dedicated to the prevention of crime. We hope that within its pages, the youth of America can learn to know crime for what it is, a sad, black, dead end, wayward. It's like, explaining that this book is really encouraging kids not to be juvenile delinquents, but to be, active, good people in society. And Frederick Wortham was one of those people that really demonized, especially crime books, as things that are promoting the degeneracy of youth in America. And these books were basically responding to that, saying, hey, no, we're not doing that, we're actually doing the exact opposite. And that's why they kind of made this criticism of Frederick Wortham. So kind of a cool book, and it's just one that has major historical significance. So the next book is also historically significant. It doesn't have any key characters or anything like that, but it is a rare book, one that you'll probably never see again. Like, it's just one of those books that there's just one of. Like, that's it. And this is the one. So this is Whiz Comics Volume 3, number 6. Now, this is a Canadian white. And there's only one of these on the census. This is the one that's on the census. So, very rare book. It's actually a Good Girl art cover, which is kind of the reason I bought it, because I do like these Good Girl art covers. But this was done by Anglo-American Press. And what it was during the Second World War, there were shortages, paper shortages, and there were also embargoes placed between Canada and the United States, just because the Canadian government, I think, wanted to basically make sure the Canadian market kind of supported itself more and was independent from the U.S. For particularly because of the war effort. So what happened was they basically prevented American comics from coming to Canada. However, what they did do is allow American comic companies to sell the rights to their comics in Canada, and the Canadian companies could produce those comics, and they would produce them in their own way. So that's what happened with Anglo-American press. Basically, what they would do is they would produce, they'd get the stories from the US and the characters. Obviously, this is Captain Marvel. And then they would basically they'd print print the books on the worst quality paper. Like, this is almost like tissue paper level of paper. It was very brittle, very thin paper, not the most durable paper, because there were paper shortages. They even talked about how they would reduce the panel size in order to get more story within less pages, because they wanted to save on paper. So the war effort was very serious in Canada, that they really, really wanted to avoid using too much paper. So they used the lowest quality paper, and it showed in these books not surviving. They were just very, very poor quality. So to have one to survive till this day is kind of impressive. They're just so poorly built. And it's a great cover. You can see, he's being surrounded by all these bikini-clad women, and it's just kind of fun that way. So this is from 1944, during the heart of it, when the war was raging on. It's obviously a Canadian book, and I'm Canadian, so it's always cool that I have a little piece of Canadian history. And as I said, the reason they were called Canadian whites, just so you know, it sounds like kind of a weird term, was the paper was white, and it was black ink printed on white paper. So what would happen is they referred to them as Canadian whites because they were black and white books. So that's the reasoning for that. Yeah, but just a really great book, really historically significant, and as I said, the only one on the census. So I hope you enjoyed my tag video, and again, I'd like to tag those 3 channels, which are my friend Mark Olroyd, and the other one is Black Box Silver and Bronze Joe, and the third one was my friend Big B McFly, the comic book guy. So again, thanks for watching. If you want to participate in this video, just use the same tags, and get 3 other channels to do it. Big channels, little channels, whatever channels. Just spread the love in the community and have fun. Bye for now.